Hey, welcome to CEO Check-In and happy Monday. I hope you had a good weekend. I had a great weekend because I picked up my boys at the airport on Sunday night. They just got back from California where they spent 8 weeks with their dad who has family out there. I missed them like crazy. That was my big coronavirus sacrifice was not having them with me for 8 weeks, but they had a great time and their dad is awesome and they all had a lot of fun. So they came off the plane looking like aliens. They had like the face mask and then this mask. It was like Ghostbusters or something, if you've seen that. I have a picture on my Instagram story if you want to check it out. So we're settling in to being back together again, and I hope you had a great weekend. It was super hot here in New York City, and it was National Ice Cream Day on Sunday, so that actually went well together. I went and celebrated with a chocolate fudge brownie cone that was awesome. I hope that you also got to partake in National Ice Cream Day. Hey Rabia, hi Lori, welcome. And I'm going to start us off today with my Go Big tip. So I've been thinking a lot about customers because now that it's the recession, we have to think more about how do we delight and engage our customers. And I have a blog post that just went up today about that because of an experience I had this weekend with trying to find a mover. I am moving soon, and the way that I got treated by 2 different movers got me thinking about how can we delight our customers and not deter them, right? Not turn them off inadvertently, which one of them did. So you can read my blog post about that. But my Go Big tip for today is investigate your customer. And what I mean by that is get so curious about your customer that it's like you're Sherlock Holmes. Not the new version of Sherlock Holmes, the old version with, the magnifying glass and the trench coat and the tweed and the plaid, because Sherlock Holmes was nothing if not so curious. And that's what I want you to be about your customer. If you think about, what does my customer read? Where else do they shop? What makes them just delighted? What do they hate? What did they like best that I've done in the last 6 months? How do they like to be reached out to? All these questions lead to you providing a product or a service that your customers love. And the more time you spend on that, the better chance you'll have at finding your next 100 or 1,000 customers. So investigate your customer, meaning write up everything you know about them and then get even more curious. Okay, I think that they watch YouTube and I think that they are on LinkedIn a fair amount, but are they also on TikTok? Have they also checked out Netflix series in the last 6 months that I should be aware of, that maybe I should be speaking to in my videos or in my blog posts? This kind of curiosity goes such a long way in helping you to connect with your current customers and to build out your next 100, 1,000, and one day 1 million customers. So investigate your customer, channel your inner Sherlock Holmes with a magnifying glass, and good things will happen. In our $1 Million Women Masterclass, we have a customer avatar exercise where we ask you to answer about 20 very detailed questions about your customer. But you can do this at home. Just sit down and spend some time writing up everything you know about them. And you'll find that there might be things you're doing currently that are a turn off to them, or conversely, are delightful to them. And a great book on this topic, if you haven't read it, is Tony Hsieh's Delivering Happiness. He's the CEO of Zappos, which was sold to Amazon for about $3 billion. And he became very focused on his customer journey, the customer experience, and how to make it like a wow experience, as he calls it. So definitely worth checking out if you want to get your thinking going about how you can delight and engage your customers. Hello, those of you just joining us on CEO Check-In. So we always start with a Go Big tip. We were doing mindset tips. Now, if you want to see those, they're in the old CEO Check-Ins, which are all on YouTube at Julia Pimsleur Coach. And now we've been doing the Go Big tips, just so that you can get a little shot of what's something you should be thinking about in your business. And if you've been with us, you know that some of the advice I've given is focus on sales, right? Because you can't take the sale out of scale. Make sure to learn a sales method. Focus on your strategy. What is the strategy that's going to help you scale up your business? All too often, people are just working so hard, but they haven't really nailed down the right strategy. We've also talked here about how to get out of your head and into Excel when you have a big decision to make about spending money, because the numbers don't lie, and Excel is so helpful for that. Those are just some of the tips that we've talked about here. And again, you can go back and watch the other ones at Julia Pimsleur Coach on YouTube. So I always love to do some live coaching. Today, it's just us. On Wednesday, I have Jennifer Spivak coming on. She runs Team Spivak. She's an expert in Facebook ads. And speaking of reaching your customers, it's still a great way to reach millions of the right people is through Facebook ads. And I know many of you who have asked, do I have the right business for Facebook ads? How much do they cost? Is it a sure thing? How long does it take for them to work? Why is Facebook ads better than LinkedIn or YouTube, or is it? Where should I spend my marketing dollars? So Jennifer is going to come on and answer all those questions. She was with us a few weeks ago, but we had some tech gremlins that kept us from having a good connection. So please join us on Wednesday and bring all your Facebook ad questions, your Facebook questions. So I'm going to see who wants to go live. Oh, and Lori has good advice. She says, I advise to Jane Goodall, your customers. I love that. Right, who studied the gorillas. That's a great example. How to just get so focused on your customer that you're like writing a PhD on them, right? I love that. So Lori, if you want to go live today, love to hear what you're up to. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. Well, now that my boys are home, I'm doing great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they just got back last night. How was your weekend, Lori?
Good. It's my birthday, so
Happy
there's lots of
birthday!
Thank
That's so
you.
great. What are you doing to celebrate?
Oh, I'm going, actually, right after this, I'm walking over, I'm doing a flotation. Have you ever done one of those?
You know, I've heard about
The
flotation.
sensory deprivation tank that's filled with salt to the point where you actually float on the water surface. In this dark tank, and I've done it a couple times, and it's just great. I feel like, you know, especially on a thank you guys,
Happy birthday!
You know, like on a technology day, you know, like I kind of want to go on Facebook and see all the birthday wishes. I feel like having some quiet time is going to be really
Taking a little break from that will be great. Oh, that's fantastic. I have to say the first thought that went through my mind when you said I'm going to go do a sensory deprivation experience is like, isn't that what quarantine is? Are we already in that?
Yeah,
you can't see your friends. You can't go out.
But I'm thinking mostly from technology, because that's definitely, it feels like I'm a little too tethered.
Yes, no, I think it's fantastic. Well, we want to hear about it. You'll have to come back and report. If you join us Wednesday, we want to hear about how that went. So I hope you have an amazing birthday. And I'd love to hear, you know, what you're working on right now and see if I can help with anything.
Yeah, well, actually, I had a really specific question for you that you've been posting on Instagram lately about your unicorn circle, the unicorn mastermind that you've put together. And I actually posted it in our group as well on Facebook. And I'm just so curious, you know, as a coach, and there's so many, I'm sure, coaches and consultants in your community, as a coach, how do you build one that you get to be a participant in? You know, because we need to be around our own, you know, I'm part of your group to be around, you know, around strong women.
Well, yes, why don't you tell everyone what you do, people who don't know you, because you run an awesome organization.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm a coach and an author, and I have a locally based community that's probably going to go national, but it's Hudson Valley Women in Business. We're a community of 3,000 women business owners at every stage of business ownership, and we're 5 years into our existence.
Fantastic. And so the question is, how do you get support as the leader? Like, you would like your own mastermind of people who could be your peers? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, it seems clear in the unicorn one that you're part of that you are a participant. And so I guess I'm curious, how did you go in building one that you were going to be a participant in? And I'm kind of curious also, do you charge, or is this one like, because you're a participant, you're not?
Well, so this one, you know, I always joke about busman's holiday. Have you heard that expression, busman's holiday? I think it must have gone out of style, because there's the second person I've said it to who's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So busman's holiday is referencing, like, if you're a bus driver, it's actually bus driver's holiday. And then on your day off, what do you do for fun? You drive a bus, like, just to go have fun, right?
Yeah.
So that's like a reference to like when you do for fun, the thing that you also do for work. So I never thought I would have a mastermind, partly because it's so much of what I do, like you, right? I'm a coach and I get paid to coach. But when the quarantine happened, I just had brought together 8 women who each of them is very dear to me. And I know each of them either as a friend or as a former one-on-one coaching client. One of them worked for me. And, I just brought together whoever was available. It was for International Women's Day. We had this brunch at my house. And then we all got along great. And it was one of those magical days you don't really plan, but everything just falls into place. And then the quarantine was like 1 week later. And so I think I was just facing my own anxiety, Lori, around, wait, I can't do anything like that again, like for months and months and months. It was very nurturing to me to be around these other women and also feel like I just get to be a person, right? Like I'm not coaching anyone.
That's so important.
Right. And so I think that's what I was craving is also, I think you were part of our community, maybe not quite back then, but when the quarantine started, I went live 3 times a week, like right from the get-go, because I knew our women were going to be in need.
I was doing that in my community too. And
I'm sure you were, and I'm sure they loved it and counted on you for that, but it's draining, right? And I had my own fears and concerns and nowhere really to bring that. So I don't know, it just came to me to take those same women who've been with me in person at that brunch and see if they wanted to meet every Thursday at 8 and just do a mastermind. I wasn't even sure I was going to call it that because it was almost like a social hour, but I've been part of masterminds and we have masterminds in our program at $1 Million Women Masterclass. And it's one of the most beloved parts of our program because, I'm in their lives for 4 months. Well, not there, because you're in my program, which is fantastic. So you're in my life for 4 months. And of course, beyond that, we'll stay connected. But the relationships you make with the other women, we have women who've been like dear friends for 3 years, 5 years, right? That goes on forever. So I was sort of craving having that for myself, to be honest. So no, I don't charge. This is something that came about very organically, very unplanned. We happened to have unicorn napkins at the event. And so we called it the Unicorn Mastermind. And recently I started also kind of handing over the power because it's me organizing and timing and doing all that. And I was starting to feel a little bit like the bus driver.
I was going to ask that. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes. So, what I like to do, and I do this in every aspect of my work, whenever I start not liking something anymore, I don't know if that's ever happened to you, Lori, that you do something in your business and you love it. And then one day you're like, I don't really like doing this anymore. Has that ever happened to you?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so I have the same strategy I use every single time that happens, which is I try to break down into parts the job and figure out, is it the whole thing I don't like anymore? Or is there some part of it I don't like anymore?
Right.
And I realized I didn't like being the one to time everyone because, when you're running one of these groups, you have to keep everyone on time. And I take that job very seriously. But
Yep.
It takes away from your enjoyment, right? To always be cutting people off and, okay, next, your 3 minutes are up, let's go. So I just handed off that job. And now I feel like I'm able to show up and be a little more of a relaxed participant without having to be the timekeeper and all that.
Oh, that's so great. I was wondering if you also handed off like planning or leading or something else to make it not yours, to make it the groups, everyone's participation. I would feel like, so I've tried to do this before with this circle as well, and felt kind of torn between I need to give less advice. Like I would be so excited as people would share and I'd want to give advice, and then I would hold myself back and say, well, actually, I'm not getting paid here. So do I?
Well, actually, ours is not very business oriented, to be honest. It's really not very. There's 2 people who often bring business questions, and of course we help them. But after each person presents, everybody gets to give advice, or a few people. We don't have time for everybody.
Yeah.
We do have 8 or 9 people. It's only an hour, so we have to keep going at a pretty fast clip. But yeah, I don't really give business advice.
Right. Oh, that's so great. So what you're saying is, and I think you did either a post or actually there's a part of your book about, balancing out your personal life, making time and space for that. So that is really great that this is.
Yes, it definitely falls in my personal category. Although I will correct myself. It's not that I don't give business advice. I do on the calls, but I'm not the only one. We're all giving business advice. And sometimes people give the opposite advice of me, and that's fine, right? Because it's not like you're not there to learn from me as a business leader. We're just all, and the other thing I love about it, Lori, is that it's a very flat hierarchy in the sense that like some people are 30 years old, right? Some people are in their 50s. Some people just started their business. Some people have been in business for years like I have. And I love that diversity. It's diverse in age, it's diverse in race, it's diverse in level of business where people are at in their businesses. And that's actually part of the richness of it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's so great. Thank you so much for sharing kind of behind the scenes around that.
My pleasure. And I do think you might go create your own mastermind for you.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few. I already have some, you know, a bit of an advisory board, I would say business-wise, but I would say on the personal level, it'd just be really nice to, I've done kind of book clubs, but this seems even different from that, which I would really like.
And you can just show up however. That's what I love about this one, right? I mean, you know, a couple of weeks ago, I was really down and they held space for me. It was so beautiful. I was really missing my boys and like, I can't make it through the last week without my kids. And, you know, we had a baby born in the group and, you know, it's just all
I saw that. It was so wonderful.
Yes, thank you. Well, let me know how that goes. And if I can be helpful, just reach out.
Oh, thank you.
My pleasure, Lori, and happy birthday. I'm so delighted we get to see you on your birthday. Have an amazing day. Have a birthday as bright and fabulous as you are. Enjoy.
Thank you.
All right, bye. Have fun in the tank. We want to hear about it. All right, thanks. We probably have time for one more person to go live. If you want to go live, you can just send me a little request to go live. And I also like to kind of just pick people. So let's see who else might want to go live today and get a little support with their business. Oh, you're getting so many nice happy birthday messages, Lori. Let's check in with Bianca and see if she is able to go live. Or if you want to go live, if you have a question, you can always write it in the chat. Like I have a question or I want to go live. This is your time to ask me anything that you want. No question is too big or too small. Some of the women on this live are in my $1 Million Women Mastermind. Sorry, not mastermind. We were just talking about masterminds in my master class. But you don't have to be to show up to these CEO check-ins and get a little bit of extra help with your business. All right, let's see. Dora, let's see, who's this? Dara Fields. Welcome. We also have Caitlin. Hi, Caitlin. We have Rabia. So good to see you. And C Marie 384. If you wanted to try to join, just send me a little message. I think it's at the top. In the meanwhile, we're going to check in with Rabia and see what's going on with her today. This is Coach Day. Rabia and Lori are both coaches. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How's the baby? Rabia just became an aunt a few days ago. This gorgeous little girl.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, we haven't met her yet because there's so many stipulations, but I am honestly counting down the minutes, really. Like, I just spoke with my sister. I'm like, I don't care about you. Show me the baby. So
move over. You're like, I don't want to investigate my customer. I just want to investigate my niece.
Exactly.
Well, she is adorable. I love seeing the pictures.
Thank you.
You're right. I'm very lucky. I got to meet Maria's baby in person. I guess that's kind of unusual right now. Yeah. I saw my pictures from the weekend. I went to.
I did.
So cute. Such a little peanut.
I know. Oh my gosh, she looked adorable. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I don't want to be that random weird auntie in New York. Like I want to actually get to know her. So
well, don't worry,
so
you won't remember anything that happened before the age of 2. So you have time.
I have to remember that. Yeah, exactly.
But I want you to have that experience of that little warm being like on your body. It does nothing replaces that. It's so
Oh my God, it sounds like it. Oh, it's so exciting. And I'm so glad to know your boys are back and they look like stormtroopers.
Right? Isn't that amazing? Like to see my kids come off the plane. I was teasing with my ex-husband. I was like, I'll look for the Ghostbusters because he warned me what they were going to look like.
Hey man, better to be safe than sorry. So well, I'm all about it.
And I hope it's something that very soon we'll all be able to laugh about. Like remember when you had to fly from California with all this gear, you know, like we're not quite there yet, right? Because we're taking another trip this summer and we might have to put it on. So
that's totally, yeah. Oh, good.
So what's going on with you work-wise? What's happening with your coaching business?
Yeah, it's going well. I actually did have a specific question I wanted to run by you, and And one of the things that I know you and I have been talking is getting more adept at the sales call and the sales cure and that method. I had this moment where I rewatched the videos. I went through the steps after our conversation, and it was a point where things were going well, and the woman who I was selling the coaching to or offering that as a service for the personal pivot program, she was really energized, and we were talking about the pain point. And then I mentioned the cost, and she just looked totally crestfallen. Like
Were you
all
on
of a
Zoom so
sudden,
you could actually see her face?
yeah, yeah. And she was like, oh, okay. She was like, I'm so into this. And then, I mean, I brought it up, or she actually mentioned, she was like, so what does all this cost? Because we got to that point. And I was firm. I did the state it and shut up for, however many seconds. And I did the math again in my head just to make sure. And I felt really good about it
Good
because
for you.
I believe in what I'm offering her, and I feel like she's getting a deal, to be
And
honest.
you've gotten
So
amazing results for people, right? There's no
yeah,
doubt that if someone hires you, you're going to deliver. But you never
thank
know where
you.
that person is at. Do you have some sense of like where she's at? Like, does she have money coming in? Is her job on hold? Like, what's happening in her life?
She is actually in the middle of, after 4 or 5 years in the same firm, she wants to transition, and she's been going through interviews now. And so interviews for a new position. So, and we talked like, this is not just about, hey, can I help with a job? Like, she's looking to really hit the reset button and in her mindset and, all the beautiful things about coaching that we love so much.
Yes. Would it be helpful
Yeah,
if I gave you a couple of things you can do in that moment?
totally.
I think we
Yes.
all, whether we're coaches or not, right, know that moment when you're like, this customer loves me. They're so going to sign up with me, right? And then you say the
Yeah.
price and it's like, oh.
She just was
or
like,
they're like, I
oh,
have
yeah.
to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, where did all that love go? It just evaporated.
I know. Yeah.
So I
It was
think
like a
very,
punch in the gut.
oh, I'm sorry, honey. But you know what? It's great practice. It's all great practice, right?
Yeah.
And one, not everyone's meant to be your customer, right? So
Yeah.
it's possible, even when you're a perfect fit, she might not be your customer. But the
Yeah.
ways to find out if she is your customer, I think the very first thing I'd love anyone to do in that moment
Yeah.
is to just remember quietly quietly remember in your mind, this is her job. Her job is to be doubting and scared and fearful. Right? It's not her job, but she's just playing her role. You know what I'm
Her
saying?
role.
There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that reaction. You've had that
Okay.
reaction
Oh,
1,000
totally.
times, right? I've had that reaction 1,000 times. I fall in love with some gorgeous designer dress, right? And then I like turn the tag around and it's like,
You're
no,
like,
no,
yeah.
I'm not buying that. No, my kids have to like take piano lessons in the next 5 years. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So we've all had that moment. And then it's your job to hold the space for her, so, which I'm sure you do beautifully. But let me just give a couple suggestions. So number one, no reaction, right? Okay, fine. So she's freaking out. That's okay. Number two is do not get engaged in a dollars conversation, because once someone's in that panicky state, it can only go south, right?
Yeah.
So what you want to do is go back to the pain and to the future potential pain if she doesn't solve it. And so your only job there is to figure out, is it worth it to her to solve it, right?
Yeah.
And, let's just go extreme here a minute, Rabia. If she had stage 4 breast cancer, and what you were selling was something that has cured 3,000 women of stage 4 breast cancer, and you said the price is $5,000, she might still go, ugh, but would she find a way?
Yeah. I mean, the stakes are high enough. Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Totally.
She would find a way to find that money. So I'm just going to that extreme example to show you how your job is really just to find out, well, what's it really worth to you, right? That's why we build into our sales script and the sales cure, which you took, the stake for you, right? Why does this matter? Because if you don't know why it matters, then you can't help get them over that hump if they get stuck at that place, which a lot of people do, right? It's like, it's hard to make big decisions, and people who are considering working with coaches are about to make these huge changes in their life. So I think internally there's a little, amygdala hijack, as I like to call it. Your amygdala is this little thing at the back of the brain that regulates fight or flight. And if you think you're going to do something that's going to threaten your stasis, like how things are, it releases cortisol. right? And
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
anxiety hormone. It goes like coursing through your body.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what's happening for her, right? I think if in that moment we can have a little bit of empathy, which I know you have a lot of, and realize, oh, that's just what happens. That's okay.
That's
I'm
what
not going to
happens.
react, right?
Yeah.
Good practice for being an aunt, because your niece is going to have 10,000 tantrums,
I gotta
right?
get ready.
And that's just what
Yeah.
she's going to do, because she's a 2-year-old, right? And you're not going
Right.
to be, oh my God, she's having a tantrum. It's like, oh, okay,
Right.
well, how do we, redirect your energy?
How do we redirect? Yeah.
Exactly. So then the question is, what questions could you have at the ready,
Mm-hmm.
right, that reconnect her to that place?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So do you want to
Mm-hmm.
role play that a minute, just so
I
it
would
makes
love
sense?
to.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I'd love
maybe
to.
I'll be you and you be her.
Okay.
So, okay, what was her? Give me a fake name. Give me a fake name.
Susie.
Okay. So Susie, yeah, I love everything you're telling me. I see you're really fired up about making this big career change, and I know,
Yeah.
it's a big move for you. So congratulations that you want to do that.
Yeah.
Given what you've told me and the number of sessions I think we need to have, we're looking at a $5,000 engagement.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that means this number of sessions, and then there's the assessment, and then there's, okay. Okay.
Yes. And have
Okay.
you worked with a coach before? Remind me if you've had a coach before, Susie.
I have not, no.
You've not. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So just to give you a sense, this is kind of my pandemic pricing. This is
Mm-hmm.
usually a $12,000 offer, but look,
Mm-hmm.
I know that these are tough times for everyone. I'm trying to make it possible for people to really get the help they need. It sounds like you're
Yeah.
really motivated to figure out the
Yeah.
shifts you need to make in your life. Because let's
Mm-hmm.
just think about this a minute. So let's say if we don't work together, what's going to happen if you don't kind of solve this? Because it sounds like you've been sitting with this for a few weeks now. Like, what if you don't make
Yeah.
any changes? What would that look like?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I'm going to be stagnant. This is not the place that I want to be hanging out in. I have a kid. I have to kind of figure out how to make sure I'm there for him as well. Recently got separated. And it's going to feel like I'm just spinning my wheels a bit.
Yeah, and that's tough. And I can totally imagine how, now being a single parent, during a
Yeah.
pandemic, that raises even more anxiety. So if you
Yeah.
stay in this job, do you think that's going to impact the choices you're able to make about like where you and your son live, what type of school he goes to, what kind of impact will that have if you stay in this job?
Yeah, totally. And I've been thinking about moving anyway. I think it's time for like a new kind of geographic location. And there's just a lot up in the air, but just financially, because I have to take care of my kid, like I have to see financially if this is actually going to work out for me.
Yes, absolutely. And you know what? I'm not for everyone, but I will
Mm-hmm.
share that the last 3 people who I helped in this exact situation each got jobs that paid between $10,000 and $30,000 more than what they were making in the prior job. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously, I'm not going to guarantee that. This all depends on you and the progress you make during our coaching, but those are results that I've gotten before. And I just want to think a minute with you about what this investment could lead to if it works. So let's imagine that 3 months from now, we've done our work together. You're being offered a job that pays you $10,000, $20,000 more. What kind of a difference would that make in your life?
Oh, I mean, I would be able to, hopefully when this pandemic dies down, go on vacation, really like be able to get a bigger apartment for my kid and myself. And not have to worry about penny pinching every single time, to be honest, because it's a lot of financial responsibility that I have.
Absolutely. And I'm sure you knew before you even got on this call with me that it would require some kind of investment, right, in order to get to that place. So was there a number you were thinking of before you got on the call about what you thought coaching would cost?
No, I mean, I'm not really sure how to budget for this because I've never worked with a coach before. So I don't, to be honest, there seems like there's such a range out there. So I don't really know. It's like shooting in the dark for me. So yeah, I'm not sure.
We're going to time out on the role play.
Yeah.
Did you see the direction I was taking her?
Yeah.
Do you see how I didn't really acknowledge the fear around the 5,000?
Yeah.
It's just, I don't care. I mean, really, that's how I feel when I'm trying to enroll someone. It's not that I don't care. It's that it's not relevant. right?
It's not relevant.
It's not
Yeah.
relevant because if you had stage
Yeah.
4 cancer, you would find 5,000. You would find everybody can find $5,000 if they believe it will transform their life, right?
Yes.
And if they believe staying the same is going to cause not only the same amount of pain you're in now, but a whole bunch more pain, right?
Yeah.
If we had the time, I would be going down the road of like, well,
Yeah.
does your son need any special help? And do you not like the school he's in? And like, what is the pain around that, right? And how's that going to impact him if you're in a job he doesn't, that you don't like, right? Can he feel that? You know, sometimes I say, like, how is this for your child? And they're like, oh, they see me upset all the time. They see how stressed out I am. Nobody wants that, right, as a parent. So you're drawing out the pain, and then you're showing them a little bit what could happen, right? And then you're also level setting that, like, usually this is super expensive because she may just not know. That's why I asked if you've ever had coaching before.
That's the thing. Yeah.
She
Because
just
I'm like, this
doesn't
is a good deal, lady. No.
Right, and which it is, but what if she doesn't know that, right? If I've shown like this top, this is a Ted Baker top, right? It's like, I don't know what I paid, 100 and something, which is good for a Ted Baker top. But if I walked into H&M, right, and this is on the rack for 110 bucks, I'd be like, what?
You'll be like, what is that? Yeah.
I'll take the $6 one.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got to help them with that a little bit. But you know, you can do what I just did, and if it doesn't lead to her signing up, then she's just not your client, and that's okay. But if you connect them with the pain and the future possibilities and show them in dollars and cents what this could lead to, right? That's why I was like 10,000 to 30,000. Like, these have to be real numbers. People are spending their real money, right? She's spending her real $5,000. So she wants to hear about a real result, right? In dollars and cents that you got from someone else.
Yeah. And you know, Julia, what I'm trying, because right before CEO check-in, which I'm so glad I always jump on, because I was like,
you came on too.
Yeah, because I'm like, maybe I should write to her and let her know if it's the price that bothers her, we can negotiate. But I was like, I don't want to do that right now. Like, I just, I don't know if it comes to that, maybe, but I'm like, no, this conversation is helpful because that whole I don't care. I get what you're saying. It's like, this is also the pricing. I have to be mindful of my worth too, because I can negotiate a little bit, but I don't want to be the initiator of that conversation in that direction as
and
well.
I want to help you make one last shift because I get the temptation to be like, this is what I'm worth, right? But it's less about that. It's about these are the results I've gotten for people.
Okay.
That's what it's about. Right?
Yeah.
People will pay for the results you've gotten for other people. I mean, when I hired one of my first business coaches, it was like, like one person recommended him. I don't know, maybe he had a website, maybe he didn't. I barely knew anything about the guy. I had to take like a huge chance, right? But today, people want to know, like, who have you helped? They want to see the testimonials. They want to hear the stories. And if you've done all that, they'll pay for it, right? Because they're not taking such a big risk. And sometimes you have to just show them that, like, look, this is $5,000 in order to make a huge transformation you've been wanting to make for how many months now, right? And in order to earn a potential $10,000 to $30,000 more dollars, like, it's not that hard a decision, Susie.
Yeah, when you put it in those relative terms.
Correct.
No,
but
totally.
don't ever forget, let's not ever forget that they're spending real dollars, so we have to show them the real dollars on the other side of that, right? And for me, it's a little bit easy because what I teach is how to make more money, right? So I can always say to women, like, most of my women double their revenues, right? And so, okay, well, let me make this investment so I can double my revenues. In your case, you have to fish a little more, right? And think about your old clients and money they made and really refer to concrete cases where people made more money either because they got a raise or they got a different job that paid them more, and not just focus on like the feelings, even though I'm sure you help so much with that too.
Yeah. No, I hear you. It's more tangible too. Like, what's the ROI going to be? Yeah.
Totally.
I agree.
Well, let me know how that goes. I do think that if you're going to try it again with her, it would be about getting back on another call and taking her back to that place, and then letting the this role play that we did guide you in your questions. I don't think any of this can be done via email, just so you know.
Yeah. Oh, totally agree.
No, okay, fine. You would just try to get back on a call there. And look, you can be really honest and be like, I'm still thinking about you. I know 180% I can help you. I have an idea for how we can make it work. Do you want to jump on another call? Right? And she might be like, hallelujah, I've still been thinking about it too, and get on another call with you and sign up. Or if she's just gone to her fear place, she might not be ready. She might not be your customer. People have to be tired enough of the pain they're in to want to solve it, right?
Yeah.
And that's not something you have control over.
Got it. That's so helpful. Thank you so much, Julie. I
My
appreciate it.
pleasure.
The role play is really helpful.
Good, yeah, and it just makes
Thank
it
you.
concrete.
Yeah, it totally does.
All right, well, best of luck, Rabia. Let me know how that goes, and come back
Okay,
Wednesday for the Facebook ads, part
I'll be
2.
there.
I know, you were
Sounds
there for
good.
part 1 when we had like garbled technology. Now we're going to do it
Yeah,
with, hopefully,
got
clear
it.
technology.
Hopefully things will go well. Thank you so much again. I
My
appreciate it.
pleasure. Have a great day. Good to see you.
You
Bye,
too. Bye.
Rabia.
Bye.
Okay, speaking of technology, I just almost pressed end instead of a little X on Rabia's face. So glad I didn't do that. So just in case you were with us at the end and not the beginning, the Go Big tip today was about get so curious about your customers that you feel like you are investigating them with a Sherlock Holmes magnifying glass and trench coat. And you can hear that whole teaching at the beginning. All of these CEO check-ins are posted to my YouTube channel at Julia Pimsleur Coach. Have a fantastic day. Lori, enjoy your birthday, and that tank sounds really cool, and I want to hear about it when you come back on. All right, everyone, stay brave, go big, and I will see you Wednesday. Bye.